Good morning everybody, Victor here, and Happy New Year to everyone. We got my man Johnny from Johnny Jigs. We got Brooke's dad Brian on the boat, and today we're gonna head out about 10 miles and we're after two different types of species. Golden tilefish, which are these crazy looking funky fish that bury themselves in the mud, and some blackbelly rosefish, both delicious eats. We got a gorgeous day, headed out of Hillsboro Inlet. We'll see you out there. All right guys, we made it out to the fishing grounds, and as you see, it's pretty sporty. So this time of year in Florida, we get a lot of cold fronts that push down. So we get this really big swell. We're in the Gulf Stream right now. It's a current that runs from south to north all the way up the Atlantic coast. And it's actually good when you get a north wind, because that current, the Gulf Stream, is usually moving anywhere from 2 to 4 knots north. So what north wind slows it down, and it slows down your drift a lot. So what we're looking for when we're going for these golden tilefish is soft bottom. You can actually kind of feel your jig digging in that mud. You don't want to fish hard bottom, because these tilefish, you'll see when we get one, they bury themselves. They look real funny. They look like these big guppies. And so we have 3 marks where Johnny's caught them before. This is where we started, our first coordinate, and we're gonna kind of just drift this line, and we have it positioned so that way we drift all 3 of those marks. We did bring some dead bait. We brought some squid and stuff, but it's much more fun to catch them on the jig. So this is what I'm dropping. This is a Johnny Jigs Torpedo, 800 grams. I got some new Mustad Alpha Point Assist hooks, and this is 800 grams, so that's over a pound, or right around a pound. And you need that much weight to maintain that vertical line angle, because we're in 850 feet of water. Okay, so the whole thing with this, when you're trying to catch these deep water fish, you want to always be able to make contact with the bottom. So that's why I went with an 800 gram jig. Johnny started with the 600, and you want to fish the lightest possible thing you can to maintain that vertical line angle. And I'm just bouncing bottom, because those golden tiles are really only going to hit in that like first 5 feet off the bottom. And every once in a while, I'll put in free spool, make sure that I'm hitting bottom again, just like that. Let out a little bit.
I'm gonna slide under you.
Gotta make sure our lines are knocked across. Captain Brian at the helm.
I'm trying to get the feel for it. This wind is pretty wicked, man. If you don't get it just right, it wants to turn you.
You have to reset. Are you still feeling bottom, Victor? Yeah. Just kind of going slack on you, right? Yes, it is. We're on, boys. Woo! Yes, sir. Whoa, baby.
That's a golden, huh?
I sure hope so, Victor. That's what we came for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Whoa, he is heavy, boys. It doesn't help that I have a heavy jig on there too, but I can tell you that it's definitely not a blackbelly rosefish. The only downside to deep dropping manual is reeling up the jig all by itself without a fish on it. I love every second of it when there's actually a fish on. I'm gonna have to make my way down to this. I gotta come around the stern. Generally in deep drop situations when jigging is 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Some guys even go down to 10 pounds test. And the diameter is so thin that when the line is under tension, any rub on your hand will cut you. So having the level line is nice. As long as it's not rock, I'm in good shape. He's coming up though. I can tell you guys that I was out on New Year's Day and I had 2 swing and misses, and I know they were golden tilefish, and I didn't get any, so I struck out. So I'm really, really hoping for redemption today, and I'm certain that Victor is my good luck charm. So it's going down, baby, or up, really.
I like the sound of that.
Oh, he got angry. Don't you do it to me. I got PTSD from the last one. Come to Johnny. That's what I need. Come to Johnny. I need to strike gold. Ooh, ooh, he's fighting. You see that? Oh, that's so scary, man. When that tip bounces like that, that's when they freaking pull the hook, man. That's why it's nice to have that soft tip of the slow pitch reel, of the slow pitch rod, and then back down on that drag. Let them pull, but don't let them pull the hook. Here we go, we got color. What do we got? What do we got?
Golden.
Yes, sirree! Woo! You got a gap?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh! That's what we came for, Mr. Victor! Yes, sir! Nice hook set.
Nice job, Johnny!
Oh, man.
And it's a big one.
Heck yeah, dude. Oh, my.
Woo!
Yeah! Redemption, baby. I needed redemption. And I got it. And I told you Victor was my good luck charm. Dude, it seems like
First drop.
every
Good
time
job.
I go fishing with you.
I love when a plan comes together. When you got a goal in mind, you get the target species. We haven't been out here longer than 30 minutes, and we got one in the boat.
I mean, whenever you can come out of your home inlet and get on a fish like this, you gotta be grateful, right?
Yes. The thing I like about catching them is looking at them. Look at the way they look compared to every other fish. They're so beautiful. They got all these little yellow dots. They got this little dewlap like an iguana would have. Gorgeous eyeballs, and you see how his head is kind of shaped for him to perfectly be buried in the mud, and he's just waiting for crabs or fish or squid to swim by, and they pounce up on him.
That's why they call them golden mud guppies. That's where they live, in the mud.
No, but so beautiful. In the box you go. First golden tile in the blue water.
He's decent too, boys. Right?
He's a good one.
Oh, by the way, guys,
We're gonna make a second drift because we drifted like 3 miles, got to the last, pretty much the last one of Johnny's spots. So we're gonna set up our drift again and see if we can't get another golden. Hey, Dad. Oh,
that might be a blackbelly or a small golden.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's a blackbelly. I'm gonna go back down.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes you can drop those blackbellies down and the goldens will eat the blackbellies on your jig.
I think he's onto something. Oh, I got your line. That's what I got. And I have a black belly. That's why it was so funny. So this is what Johnny was just talking about, black belly rosefish. They're usually in the same area as golden tiles. And they're crazy looking too. Living down there in 800 feet of water. So yeah, there's a lot of these guys out here, and I mean, they're fun to catch, they taste great, but you really don't want to exert the energy, especially when you're fishing manual, to bring up one of these guys. I thought I got a bite, and I guess it was one of these things. We're gonna save them for the dinner table, but you see how much more meat you get off of one golden tile compared to a little rosy like this. And if you look in its mouth, the reason they're called black bellies, if you fillet them, they actually have like a dark streak of black, but also in their mouth, they got this black in them. I don't know what it's for, but cool looking fish.
You know what I like more than a blackbelly rosefish? 2 blackbelly rosefish. Doesn't get much better. So I don't think that this fish is necessarily eating the jig as much as he's eating these hooks with a little bit of tassels on them. But I'm going with the bigger hooks, hoping to miss like any tiny little fish. But these guys are obviously a bycatch, but they're a quality bycatch for sure.
No. Oh, he came off. That was a good bite.
You didn't do anything
wrong. That was
wrong.
a good bite. This is our third or fourth drift. Just had one on. We've been getting some bumps, but you got to imagine you got over 800 feet of line out, so getting a good hook set and all that weight of the jig is not easy. Just nice, slow, subtle movements of the jig. Just getting it up like 3 feet off the bottom, letting it bounce down. Johnny calls it space candy. He says those fish down there think it's space candy falling from the sky.
Space candy, quick, eat it! When I tell you today was my lucky day, That's twice, 2 for 1 that came up. Blackbellies, and these are definitely have a lot more size to them. I don't like grabbing these. Victor grabbed this fish. I don't like I like to lip it like a bass maybe, but anything on the side, I don't like grabbing them because they stick those spines right in you. But very cool, man. Very, very cool. Definitely to catch it on a Johnny's jig. That's him.
Yep.
That's a big fish, my friend.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Your drag is set. You don't have to level line. Woo! Get him, boys! I said, I'm so glad I handed that off to him. You know how long it's gonna take him to reel that up? My arms hurt. That's a beast, right?
It's a nice one.
Yeah, he's got some weight to him.
Yeah. He's fighting too.
Yes, he is.
He's not just coming in.
Nope. Let me know. I can't see your line, so as long as you're good, I'll keep you right here, this angle. Are you good, Victor?
I'm under the boat a little.
Okay. Well, good news is you could swing around the, yeah.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. Be careful with that line because it's super thin. Any rub on the hole and you're done.
No, it's pretty much straight up and down.
That's where we want to be, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still got a ways to go, my friend.
I do?
That line's gonna fill the spool up. But at least it's level lining for you.
I keep looking at the spool thinking,
Yeah,
how full did he have it?
My plan was to torture you today, Brian. That was really, had nothing to do with golden tilefish.
This will be the deepest I ever reeled a fish in from.
Manually.
Yeah, 800 feet of water.
Yeah.
I see
we got color right there.
I see color.
Okay, I'm gonna
get the
make
gap,
it
Victor.
Brian's first golden tile. Come on.
Come on, baby! Oh,
I love Johnny's energy. He's the ultimate hype man.
yes, sir. Dude, that's a nice one. Holy smokes, that's a nice one. Yes, Bill! That's a pig, dude! Holy cow, what is he eating?
Oh, I just got hit.
Woo! Look at that fish, boys!
He's got a belly on it.
Yes, sir!
Huge belly.
He eats good, man.
Holy smokes. Wow, my hand's cramping.
He's got a, I mean, just his head is huge. Golly.
Oh, yeah, baby. It was worth the fight. 850 feet. It's a lot of reeling, but look, once you get to hold it, wow. Now I'm good. Got my one golden tile, got my limit. I'm happy. As you can see, Brooke's not here today, so I'm doing her job, and I'm enjoying it. You know, trying to keep the boat straight into the wind, straight into these waves, trying to keep the lines as vertical as possible. It keeps you busy in these windy conditions, and it's a lot of fun. I'm sure if Brooke was here, she would have enjoyed it.
All right, I can't handle the manual anymore, so I went electric. You can say what you want about it, but it's way more effective. When you're down there and you want to reset your line angle and get vertical, the electric takes a lot of heat off of you, and you can get your line up way faster than you can with the manual.
Looks like you're going to school.
I got my jetpack on. Look at how I hooked this fish in the eyeball and then through the skull. I think we've caught something on every single drift. A lot of these blackbelly rosefish, I'd say we released more than we kept. We kept a few for the dinner table, don't want to be greedy. Another thing to note, these fish, if you guys could feel it, they're cold. That water's probably 50 degrees down there. Would never think that something 850 feet could be that beautiful. This fish looks like it should live on the reef. It's a big one.
That is a big. Wait,
No, it's a little golden tile.
Golden tile!
And we didn't even know. I thought I had a fish on, wasn't sure what it was, but we actually got another golden tile. Let's go back here. It's no monster, but but it's still a golden tile. Isn't that crazy? They'll eat a jig as big as they are. Look at that. Those rosies down there too are eating a huge jig compared to their body. A lot smaller than the ones that Johnny and Brian got, but still beautiful. And look at it. Look at his little dewlap. See his little thing on the top of his head? How much smaller? Those giant ones are, I think they're dominant fish, and they have a really big one. So we got our 3 golden tiles, all the rosies you wanted, but wanted to give some love to Johnny. So if you guys are into slow pitch jigging or want to get into it, as you can see, it really works, especially well for golden tilefish, but a lot of deep drop fish. Johnny actually has a shop local to us in Pompano Beach called Johnny Jigs. Him and a couple buddies started it, and it has exploded. So if you guys want to get into the sport, stop by the shop, check out johnnyjigs.com. And they got a lot of nice, new, exciting stuff coming down the line, don't you?
You can, the jigs that we caught, the golden tiles on today, you know, the heavy ones, we have those. But yeah, new jig bags that just came out for slow pitch jigging. We're trying to stay on the forefront of jigging in general, not just slow pitch, but jigging offshore. So it's something that we're passionate about, we love, and that's what we're gonna keep doing. So.
Man, it's so much calmer inside than it was out there, huh? It was bumpy out there. It was a sporty day. I'm glad to be in this boat. That is one reason we got this boat, was that we would never have an excuse to not be able to fish and be able to go out when it's a little sporty like that. All right, so on the way in, what we like to do is give them a nice saltwater brine. If they're just sitting on ice, it's a lot different than if they're in an ice bath. It'll really get them super cold, stiffen them up so that they're ready for the fillet table. So I'm just taking the wash down, putting some salt water in here. They're gonna get nice and cold. We're gonna get them underneath that ice bath. So I'm using a dual edge Dextream right here, 8-inch flexible fillet. And the dual edge, I have a serrated tiger edge side right here. Perfect for super scaly fish like golden tilefish. You can see I can just effortlessly go right through those scales. Same thing, I'm gonna go ahead and make my initial outline. And this knife really shines on your snapper, grouper, tilefish species, sheep's head, redfish, anything with a tough exterior. And by using that backside, that back edge, I'm able to preserve the sharpness of my main edge and not dull it out. So now I'm just gonna work from the tail half up to the head half. And there's a few fish I really love filleting and seeing at the fillet table. Golden tilefish is one of them, queen snapper. I love the super pretty aesthetic fish. And the fish that I don't see that often. So right here, we're gonna break through the pin bones. The pin bones attach the rib cage to the fillet. Now we're gonna go down on the other side of the backbone, just like so. Over the ribs, down. They have a pretty big rib cage. And I did already gut this guy, and there was nothing in his stomach. So I don't know if he coughed it all up, but look at that. Gorgeous piece of fish. Once again, back side of the knife using that tiger edge from the head to the tail. And if you guys are interested in the knife I'm using today, you can actually save yourself some money. Use my code LANDSHARK. You save 20% off on all Dexter knives at dexteroutdoors.com. Break through the pin bones, down on the other side of the backbone. Get rid of his pec fin. Over the ribs. Just like that. Okay, look at that. Golden tilefish all filleted out. Okay, so now, when you skin any fish, always line it up with the edge of the fillet table. And I always keep in mind with this specific knife, I do have that edge right there, so you gotta be careful when you trail with your hand as to not cut yourself. But I like to keep my left hand right behind that blade so I know I'm not tearing through the skin, and I'm just pushing away from me at a slight angle against that skin. Just skin it out. And you can eat golden tilefish with the skin on, but for this recipe, I want the skin off. Okay, so we're in the kitchen. Beautiful, like 6 to 8 ounce pieces of that golden tilefish. We're gonna hit these with a nice high heat pan sear and then finish them off in the Camp Chef outside. I have these beautiful cauliflower steaks, which I got a pan heating up there. We're gonna give them a little sear and then finish them off in the oven. Same thing with the roasted carrots. So we're gonna go and hit our cauliflower with some salt, hitting them with some garlic powder, some freshly cracked pepper. Okay, we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side.
If you guys made it this far in the video, you guys should comment down your New Year's resolutions.
Starting with Brooks.
Vic, do you have one?
Yeah, to be more positive. I've been a little negative lately. I need to appreciate the things I have and the things that are in front of me. So I want to go into the new year with just a positive mindset and just be appreciative of every single thing.
Wow, that was pretty good. I don't have one.
Brooke's perfect, she doesn't need one. So lately what I've been doing, especially with such a thick piece of fish, I like to season it well ahead of time and especially salt it. Because when you salt it, you're almost dry brining your fish, and it's such a thick piece, you want that salt to really penetrate deep into that muscle of the fish. So same thing, salt, pepper, garlic powder, you already know the basics. Those are just staring at me and saying, eat me. It looks so good. Okay, we're gonna get a bunch of olive oil on these carrots right here. Roll them around a little bit. Same thing, just salt, pepper, garlic, but the only difference with these is we're gonna hit them with a little honey, because carrots, when you bake them or roast them, they get a nice sweet flavor, and that honey is just gonna help accentuate that, help with the caramelization process. All right, now we're gonna go on, not too much honey, just enough so that way you can kind of tell it's there, but barely, you know? Okay, so we're gonna go in with our carrots at 425.
Head taste test, very good.
So I am going to roast the cauliflower with the carrots, but since they're so much thicker and I really want to give them a nice golden brown crust, I'm going to try to sear them a little bit first. So just going in with some avocado oil into the pan right here. Our cauliflower steaks. We got a little citrus butter gonna go in here. I got a whole stick of butter. It's already been softened. Got some lime zest, some orange zest, some shallot, and some garlic. And that's gonna be used to finish off our golden tile. One other thing I wanna put in here, sriracha honey. Love this stuff. Sweet, spicy, gonna go really good with that citrusy flavor. So the cauliflower did get color, but it's falling apart on me. So like I said, just super gently. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to give them a little bit of color before they roast in the oven. Look at that color. And they're just gonna get even more golden brown as they cook in the oven. I'm just gonna take that leftover oil, kind of drizzle it on top of our cauliflower, help with the cooking. Okay. We got color on the roasted cauliflower. Now into the oven to finish roasting. We got the Camp Chef Sidekick, got the non-stick pan super hot, going in with some avocado oil. This is where we're gonna do that pan sear, get a nice crust on this golden tilefish, finish it with the indirect heat of the pellet grill right next door. Why I love this thing, if you're a fisherman, this fisherman's best friend. So you could smoke fish on this, you could fry fish on it, you can make ribs, you can make brisket, you can do anything you possibly want. Treat it like a regular grill. And I love having the burner on the side, especially for side dishes or searing, and I don't stink up the house. So let's go in. And I'm gonna have to probably overcrowd the pan, but you know what? It is what it is. It's all right. Probably like 2 minutes on one side. Now we're gonna flip and watch this. See, I just want a little bit of that color on there, okay? Just like that. And you could continue cooking this in the pan, but since it's such a thick piece of fish, you tend to dry it out. So it's much better to just give it some indirect heat. Now watch this. That butter that we made earlier, gonna put this directly in the pan and it's just gonna cook in all of those juices. Now we're gonna go directly into the grill. Just set it and forget it pretty much. So just checking up on the fish, I'm looking for 145 on the temperature. It's right around 130. But the beauty of this recipe is you get a nice crust on the top of the fish, and those fish are basically just cooking in all that juice and butter, and it might look like a lot of oil and butter, but you don't have to use it all. You know, you just put a little bit on the top when you're dishing it out, and you can leave the rest in the pan. So pea puree is on the table. Look at these cauliflower steaks. And then our roasted carrots. Oh yeah. There's the golden tilefish, bacon and all those juices. Okay, so here's how we're gonna plate this. You see all these beautiful colors. We got the pea puree first. We'll go down with a little bit of the pea puree. Here we got our cauliflower steak, look at that. Just roasted carrots. And then look at how flaky, and delicious this fish is gonna be. And then a little bit of that. Okay, and then we're not gonna let this stuff go to waste. So
Need a little of that drizzle.
put a little bit of this on top of the golden tilefish. And we're good to go. Look at, oh, who's in first in line? Guess who's behind the camera?
Wow. Huh? Wow. That's all I got to say is wow. I mean, look at that. Does that not look like $1 million? Woo! Now I'm gonna taste it. These flavors are there's no good words to describe it. You can eat everything together, like the pea puree, the cauliflower, you know, the carrot and the fish. It all blends so well together. It's simply magnificent.
Best cauliflower I ever had. So,
I got a lot to say about this dish, but I'm gonna finish it first. I don't want it to get cold on me.
I'll come back around.
And then I've got a lot to say about this dish.
I'll probably be the only person at this table disappointed eating this fish. And the reason why is I had some fish in the fridge from Victor and Brooke yesterday, and I thought I cooked it amazing, and I was so proud of myself. It was the best fish I've ever cooked. And then to come here the next day and taste how fish can actually turn out. So even though this might be the best fish I've ever had in my life, it does kind of make me feel a little saddened that I'll never be able to make anything that tastes this good. It's out of this world. I can imagine a lot of viewers probably think we're all just being nice when we say how good everything tastes, but I think this was a dish where everyone knows how good it tasted because it looked like perfection and it tasted like perfection. So I think for once you guys can believe us when we said how good it turned out.
I'm gonna pan over to all the plates real quick.
Empty.
There's nothing.
Empty.
This was the first catch and cook of the year, and I think Victor really knocked it out of the park and put a little bit of pressure on yourself for the rest of the year. 'Cause this one was very incredible. Every single thing on this plate was absolutely delicious. It all went together so well. All the colors, it looked beautiful, and it tasted amazing. So excellent job, Vicky. Really starting the year off on a good note.
Thank you.
I think this is my favorite plate that I've had. It was amazing. The flavors meshed really well together. The textures meshed really well together. So good job.
Well, my plate was mopped up with a piece of bread. It was that good. I cleaned every speck of food off my plate. Didn't need a knife. Everything cut, even that thick raw cauliflower cut so nicely. The fish tastes amazing. Delicious. I'm so glad you invited us over for this.
I got a lot to say. So Dennis started digging in to his plate and he goes, I think this is a $45 plate if you had it in a restaurant. I'm gonna try and put a price on this plate. So Deb and I love to come here to eat our fresh fish. There's no place better. But we go everywhere in town that will cook our fish. We have a place that'll cook our fish for $20 and give us 2 sides and a salad. Amazing deal. It's always good. We got another place, got a little bit fancier setting, charges us $32. Also very good. Another chef in town cooks our fish for us for $45. Amazing. So I'm always looking for something new, you know, to take my wife. So I was on the computer and I went to the Ritz and I thought, the Ritz probably has a good chef. And what do they got? Cook your fresh catch. So I called them up and I'm like, you know, how's it work? And they said, well, you got to sign a waiver. And you know, I've never had to sign a waiver before, but the Ritz makes you sign a waiver to bring your own fish in. And it was $55 a plate. So I thought, a little high, but you know, it's the Ritz. My wife's worth it. Let's go. And so we went and you know, had to pay to valet park. We had salads. Deb had a couple glasses of wine. We split a dessert afterwards. So the bill was, you know, like with valet parking and tip, it was like $240. So it was a nice night out. You know, I took one of these tilefish out of the cooler. You know, Vic wasn't around. Played it myself. Took it to the restaurant. Unfortunately, it had 2 little bones in it. Didn't do as good a job of filleting as Victor. And this meal also, you're not going to see it in this video, but we started this meal out with Tilefish Kudo. That was out of this world. So, to put a price on this dish, YouTube has been so amazing for this family. Who gets to go fishing and, oh, let's go catch a golden tile. And you know, Johnny from Johnny Jigs is like, oh wow, fishing with Victor, I got numbers. Nobody shares their numbers. Boom, puts the numbers on our machine. Out we go to 850 feet of water. So here I am fishing with, you know, Johnny Jigs. And to watch that guy jig, I mean, you can, no matter what kind of fishing you do, he can jig a jig like nobody I've ever seen. He's like a machine, man. Just to be on a boat with him, because he's such a nice guy. To be on a boat with him and get to fish with him and have him share his numbers with you, it just, I don't know, it just enhances my life. And then to come here and have this dish, which I can't tell you how much better this dish was than the Ritz. This is on a whole different level than what I had at the Ritz for $200. So I'm gonna put a price on this plate. Priceless. That's what it is. It's priceless.
Thank you, Fred.
It's the truth, man. And I'm not a nice guy. I ain't saying that because I'm being nice. I'm saying that because it needed to be said. It's the truth.
We get to share our fish with our friends and family, and you already know we're gonna give Johnny some of the golden tile fish, but I really, really enjoyed it. We get to eat so many different types of fish, and it can get a little redundant for us sometimes, but when I have dishes like this and the fish cooked so well and it just has such a good flavor, it reignites my love for cooking fish and for eating fish. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
Happy New Year.
Bye.